Hello, this is page 126. And on this page we're going to learn how to divide decimals by whole numbers. Dividing decimals is similar to dividing whole numbers. When you divide a decimal by a whole number, the placement of the decimal point in the quotient is determined by the placement of the decimal point in the dividend. So let's name a few things here before we get started. Might be a good idea for you to try to memorize this. The dividend goes here. The divisor goes here. And this is the quotient. So we have some names. And so this problem is 9 and 76/100ths. And that's going to get divided by 8, and we're going to look for a quotient. So I'm going to clear all this. And I'm going to show you what I would do if I didn't have this problem. It says a high school track is 9 and 76/100ths meters wide. It's divided into 8 lanes of equal width. For track and field events, how wide is each lane? So that is telling you to take 9 and 76/100ths and divide that by 8. And so what we do here is we divide using long division as with whole numbers. Basically, we're going to pretend this is 976 divided by 8. 8 goes into 9 once. 1 times 8 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. 8 goes into 17 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 goes into 16 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. I'm going to subtract down and get 0, which means I'm done. And then the decimal goes straight up. The directions right here say, place the decimal point in the quotient directly above the decimal point in the dividend. So the decimal here just goes straight up. So the answer is 1 and 22/100ths. We can check that a lot of different ways. One thing we could do is multiply the divisor 8 by our quotient, and we should get the dividend, which we did. So that means we got it right. Alright, you know how to do it. Let's check out the next one. Aerobics class costs $153.86 for 14 sessions. What is the fee for one session? So we know the fee for 14 sessions, but not for one. So we're going to do just what we did before. We're going to take $153.86, divide that by 14. If you don't know your 14s, this is a multiplication chart would be super handy. 14 goes into 15 once. 14 does not go into 13, so I have to put a 0 here before I bring this 8 down. 14 goes in 138, I'm pretty sure 9 times. It's not a bad idea to, off to the side of your whiteboard, then do 14 times 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12, so I get 126. That's less than my remainder. It needs to be, which it needs to be, so when we subtract, we're going to get 8 minus 6 is 2, and 3 minus 1 is 3. As long as 12 is less than my divisor, then I'm in good shape. And check this out. I now ask myself how many times does 14 go into 126, but I already know that it goes in 9 times. 9 times 14 is 126. My decimal goes straight up, 1099. 1099 per class. I think that's the answer. I'm sure that's what it says. The fee for one aerobics class is $10.99. And then number 2 says, how can you estimate to check that your quotient in A is reasonable? It doesn't ask us about B, it asks us about A. A was the one that was 9.76 divided by 8. Well, we could just round those. 9.76 is about 10. And 8 would actually round up to 10. 10 divided by 10 would be equal to 1. And 1 is close to, I'm going to rewrite this. 1 is close to 1.22. So I'm going to say round 9.76 to 10 and round 8 up to 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1 whole, which is close to 1.22. Good enough. Alright, we've got the your turn at the bottom of the page. Got two division problems here, and I'm going to use the space provided. I'll just write kind of small. 9 and 75/100 divided by 5. 5 goes into 9 once. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract. Get 47. 5 goes into 47 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Subtract and get 2 and 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. No remainder means you're done. Decimal comes straight up. And to check your answer, you can either multiply or divide. I like to multiply to teach that multiplication and division are opposite operations. So I'm going to do 5 times 195. So I multiply my divisor by my quotient, and I should get my dividend of 975, and I do. Alright, 7 does not go into 6, so I put a 0 here. 7 does go into 64. 9 times. 9 times 7 is 63. 7 goes into 14 twice. 2 times 7 is 14. No remainder, it means I'm done. Decimal comes straight up. Again, I'm going to multiply my divisor, 7, by my quotient, 0 and 92/100ths, and I should get 6 and 44/100ths, and I do. Alright, good. So now you know how to divide a decimal by a whole number.